Hello and welcome back to the DH Pickleball Show. My name is Mike Behrens. I'm so happy to have you with us today. In this episode of the DH Pickleball Show, we're going to talk with David Henry about his prior months of events and what he's been doing. The goal here with the DH Pickleball Show is for David to share with us his journey and the tips and tricks that he's learning to become a pickleball pro and to hopefully achieve that goal one day. And so what we got to do to kind of track progress and keep him accountable, we got to do a recap of all of his events. So, David, welcome to your own show. Glad to be talking to you today. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well, man. Had a great weekend, which we'll talk about that here in a second. Had a great weekend, and glad to wrap up a successful month in June. And as always, it's great to see you. So, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to hear about your tournament. I follow you on social media and I saw you post about it. So for those of you who don't, be sure and follow David on social media. It's DH Pickleball, right?
Is that on Instagram is the main platform. Yep.
Yeah. So follow David because I saw some exciting news that he had that he'll share with us in a little bit. And I've been dying to ask him, but I wanted to wait so that we can record it and I don't have to make him tell me the story twice. So anyway, let's talk about your events for this past month. How many events did you have in the month of June?
Yeah, I was in pulling some stuff up here, but I was in three different events. Cool. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the first event, you gave me some notes here. I mean, I knew that it was kind of a leading question.
Sure.
So you can share with everybody. The first event was what's called a 3 strikes event. So what is that? Tell me a little bit more about that and how it went.
Yeah. That one was, I'm looking at my calendar here. That was June 10th. So it was 3 events on back-to-back weekends. So 3 weekends in a row. So yeah, the first one, June 10th, was called a 3 strikes tournament. And that was new to me. I had never heard of a 3 strikes tournament. I never really played in a 3 strikes tournament. And so the format is really cool. So I'll describe it to you and the folks that are watching and listening. It was just at a park about half an hour north of me in a suburb of Dayton called Vandalia. It's called Helke Park, and they have 8 dedicated pickleball courts with lights. So it's a great facility. Courts are a little older. They've showing some wear and a few cracks here and there, but nothing that interfered with play. So it was a great facility and a great group of people. It was primarily a group of people that play in the northern Dayton area that I've come to know over the last year and a half, and become friends with a lot of them. And so it's cool. But what a 3 strikes event is basically it was capped at 24 people. So, and there's really no age or skill level. So open age and open skill. I mean, I think the organizer didn't want any 4.5s and above. And I don't think he really wanted like any 3.0s and below. So, probably, I would say most of the people were in that 3.5, 3.40 range. So 24 people. So what you do at the very beginning, all 24 are there, and you go over to the little tent and table where the organizers were, and you draw this little wooden number out of a bag. So it was a random draw to assign you to a partner. Okay. To assign you to a partner and a court. So basically, then for round 1, you go out and you play with that random partner against 2 others that were randomly selected. And you play. I think we were playing. Oh goodness, it's 3 weeks ago. It's hard for me to remember. but I think we were playing games to 11, win by 2, or there was like a 12-minute time limit. So if you hit the 12-minute mark and the game wasn't over, then it was play the next point, and whoever won that next point, or whoever was winning at the end, at that point, if it was tied. So that's what we did. So anyway, you go out and play the first round, and then the losing team, both people get an X or a strike. Okay.
Okay, makes sense.
So that's what it is. So after the first round, 12 of the 24 people have lost, and those 12 people have a strike. So then all the numbers go back in the bag, and it's round 2 time. So you completely shuffle and redraw for round 2, and you go out and play with another partner and play. And this format, it keeps continuing. Where eventually after round 3, someone most likely has 3 strikes and they're out of the tournament.
Sure.
And then round 4, a few more people get 3 strikes and they're out. And round 5. And so basically this tournament just whittles the field down until basically you're left with 3 players or fewer that have 3 strikes.
Okay.
At that point, it switches to a singles tournament. Because obviously, if you don't have 4 players left, you can't play doubles any longer. So it switches to a little mini singles tournament. And so it's just a really interesting, neat, cool format. And so I was thrilled to take part in it. And, going into it, it's kind of like, because pickleball is a game where if you're the weaker player on the team, it's pretty easy to get picked on. Or if across the net from you, if one player is much weaker, it's pretty easy to pick on that weaker player. Now, again, a super strong player can overcome a weak player, but it's hard. It's hard to overcome a super weak partner. So part of this tournament, I mean, is just luck of the draw. You want to get good partners on that random draw, and you don't want to get weak partners on that random draw. But obviously your skill certainly comes into play too. But there is some just luck of the draw factors that come into play. So that was the format. Pretty neat. So my results.
Cool. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah. I hope that you weren't the weak partner in any of those scenarios, were you?
I don't think I was. So we'll just leave it at that. Leave it at that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but so anyway, so went out, and it was funny. The random draw for the very first round, I drew one of my really good friends who I play with a lot anyway. So I'm like, it's 24 people, and I draw the guy that I play with a lot anyway. But cool. And we played against 2 people, a husband and wife. They drew each other, the husband and wife, which is fun. Yeah. And so we played against them, who I play with against a lot as well, and with. So it was a fun match. And so my partner and I won that. So I got out of round 1 with no strikes. Then in round 2, I drew a younger guy who's not been playing too long, and he was good. And we played a pretty decent game, but we lost that one. So after round 2, I had my first strike. So then in round 3, I drew this guy named Greg Justice, really, really good player. I really liked the guy, and he's a really good player. And we rolled in that one. So I was still after round 3, I still only had 1 strike against me. And so then for round 4, I drew Greg and I drew each other again. So, that random draw, got the same partners 2 rounds in a row. And we were super excited about it because we both play well together. He's a good player. I think he thinks I'm a good player. And so we were super excited about it. And we laid an egg.
No.
Yeah. We shouldn't have lost that game. We were just both just off that game. And so then I'm sitting at 2 wins, 2 losses. So I had my 2 strikes after 4th round. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what's going on? Well, then fortunately, with my back against the wall, I dug deep and got some luck of the draw with some good partners, and I think I won 4 straight games. With 2 strikes against me. So I was able to hold off that 3rd strike.
Nice.
and get 4. Yeah, so that was nice. So then it came down to, there were 5 of us left. Okay. So the 24 had been whittled down to 5. And one guy, he only had 1 strike. So he was guaranteed to be in the singles tournament at the end. But the rest of us all had 2. So random draw for the doubles match, and so I got this one guy, Aaron, and then we're playing against Andy and Kamala in the match. And so basically, Rick was sitting out waiting for the singles finals, and then the 4 of us are playing to see which 2 of us join Rick. Okay, so whoever wins that doubles match, that finals doubles match or game, is going on to play in the little singles tournament. And my partner and I, we got down pretty early, maybe even like 8-1 or 7-1. We got down early. But anyway, we came back, I think, to tie it like at 8-8, and then it went to 9-9 or whatever. And then we ended up losing that one 11-9. So we lost that one by 2 points. And, so I guess I finished 4th/5th. My partner and I, finished 4th/5th, which I was thrilled with, out of 24 people. That was awesome. But I guess what bugs me is that the 3 guys then played singles. Or the one guy that was waiting, and if my partner and I would have advanced, and the one guy that was waiting, not trying to be overly arrogant here, but I would have taken both of them in singles. I'm just in better shape than both of them, and and it was a long day after playing doubles out in a hot sun all day, and then to go to singles, which is tough. But I think my fitness probably was a little bit better, and I'm just a better singles player probably even than I am doubles as far as shot selection and things. And and so I probably if I would have so that doubles match that I lost from two points, I think that prevented me from being the overall champ, but it was still a really fun event.
That's awesome. That sounds like a fun tournament to play. My wife plays in volleyball tournaments that are kind of like that, where they do random draws and things. So those are always, they're fun. They make it more fun because it's so random and changes up, and it's, takes a game that's fun already and makes it even more fun because the structure of the tournament. So that's cool. That's a fun
thing. It is. And they're gonna the two guys that ran it, they're definitely doing like one or two more, I think, cool, for the rest of the summer or fall. So I'll join in and have some more fun.
Yeah. That's very cool. Very cool. Okay. So that tournament, and then you played in another one the following weekend, which was a charity event. Is that right? Yeah.
So I think it was benefiting the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Cincinnati. And cool. So a good event. And it was at this place in Cincinnati that's fairly new. It's called Aces Pickleball. And that's the first time I've been there, because it's probably a good 50 minutes, almost an hour for me. So I'd never been there before. So I was looking forward to seeing Aces and playing in this event. And Aces is, man, incredible. Yeah. I mean, it is top notch all the way around. And it's what it is there are 5 dedicated outdoor pickleball courts with lights. One of those courts is covered. Excuse me. And then there are 5 dedicated indoor pickleball courts with kind of like garage doors at the back that can kind of open up to let natural air and natural light in. And then, but what's so great about it too is it's just top notch. Is just outside and all around the facility is just a really cool vibe. Like just really great outside furniture with an outside bar and fire pit and cornhole and a little dog park at one end, and then cool. and then they have a full sit down restaurant as well, and there where you go like table service, like you sit down, a waiter or waitress comes to the table, and it's just a really really cool vibe. Like I would like to even just go down there, even if I'm not playing, just to hang out with my wife and on the weekend, just go down for dinner and hang out on a nice Saturday evening, because the environment and atmosphere was so cool on its own, in addition to pickleball. I mean, so you can't beat it. Awesome.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Playing in places like that is a lot of fun.
Really cool. And so I talked to I don't know if he's the owner or if he's just running that facility or the manager or whatever, but I said, I hope you franchise or at least expand corporately or whatever to bring one of these more closer to me up in the Dayton area, because it is awesome.
That's cool, man. That's very cool. So the tournament, was it a singles tournament, a doubles tournament? What kind of event was it?
Doubles. I mean, and primarily in pickleball, most of the stuff is doubles. I mean, more people play doubles than singles by far. But it's a doubles tournament. And what it ended up being was, it really ended up, because we made a decent chunk of donation to be in it. It ended up being an expensive open play session. Is all it was. But it was cool. But they had it divided into beginner, intermediate, and advanced courts. And so, those two terms are a little loose, intermediate, medium, or beginner, advanced. But anyway, so Andy and I, the partner, the guy that I normally play with most of the time, he and I, we stayed on the advanced courts the entire day. And they had a couple of challenge courts where, winner stays on, type of thing.
Oh, cool.
And so on the day, being on the challenge courts and on the advanced courts, on the day, Andy and I went 9-1.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So we lost on the challenge. We lost on the challenge court to probably the best team there. Those guys were good. One of them was probably about our age, and the other one was a young gun. He was probably in his 20s. Always tough to compete against those guys.
Sure.
But it was fun. I think we played them close. I think we maybe lost them 11-7, 11-8. But went 9-1 on the day, and it was during the games, we were competitive, but between points in between games and stuff, it was a very casual, fun atmosphere, good vibe type of thing. So yeah, it was a fun day. We put up some good results, and I got to see a really, really cool facility that I want to go to
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, that's awesome. And days like that are probably the most fun because there's not like super high pressure and you can just, relax and have fun and play some pickleball. Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah,
Plus,
absolutely
contribute
loved
to a
it.
good cause. So can't beat
Yeah,
that.
yeah, win, win, win.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so then now the one that I really, 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 really want to hear about this past weekend, I don't want to spoil it, but tell me about this last weekend's tournament and how it went.
Yeah. So we went up to Toledo, Ohio, which is about 2 hours north of here in Dayton. Very close to Bowling Green State University, where my son goes to school. So I've made that trek many times.
Nice.
But went up to Toledo. I had played the tournament is called the Glass City Invitational up in Toledo, and I'll come back to the name of the tournament. There's a little bit of significance there,
Okay.
but it was I played there last year. So basically, when I was just getting started in pickleball, I think we talked maybe in episode 1. I forget if we touched upon this or not, but I didn't know many people, so I was forced to play singles because I just didn't have anybody to play doubles with. So I had registered for this tournament a year ago and drove up to Toledo by myself and played singles. I played in a younger guy division, and again, I'd mentioned I think in episode 1 my conditioning was piss poor when I first started. I lost 2 fairly close singles matches, but I lost my first one in the main draw, lost my back draw, and went home. But I knew it was a really good, nicely run tournament, and it was on. There's 2 facilities as the crow flies. They're probably like quarter mile apart.
Okay.
But each of those have 8 dedicated pickleball courts. So I always want to play on a tournament where I can play on dedicated courts as opposed to tennis courts that are lined for pickleball. And so I knew it was a pretty good facility. So I'm like, yeah, let's go back up there. And Andy and I, he agreed to play with me, and we signed up, and we signed up for men's 50 plus. I just recently turned 52, and Andy I think is 58. So definitely wanted to play 50 plus. And then we signed up for 3.5 skill level because that's what we've been playing. And we've been winning, at that level. And I actually told Andy, I said, hey, why don't we sign up for 4.0 for this tournament?
Yeah.
And he hedged a little bit and said, why don't we play one more at 3.5? And if we win it, then from that point on, we'll start moving up, to play at the 4.0 level. I said that's fine. So we may have been sandbagging a little, a little bit in this tournament, but that happens every single tournament that you're at with pickleball. So we wouldn't be the only ones doing it. But I don't, it was fine. But so we go up there, and it was forecast wasn't looking good.
Oh no.
And so we checked in, and the lady said, okay, she's like, we're probably going to be, before your group starts, your bracket starts, we're going to move you guys indoors. Oh my God. Because that meant a local high school that was right by, so they would move us to that. That meant a gym floor, which is taped up for pickleball, temporary nets. I don't remember if we've talked about this in another episode, but I absolutely hate playing on gym floors. So a lot of rec centers and schools and things have pickleball, and a lot of people play indoors on gym floors. I'm just a pickleball court snob when it comes to, I just don't like to play on those. I mean, the ball, first of all, you got all kinds of lines. So the courts are lined for basketball, they're lined for volleyball. Yeah. Then you've got pickleball lines down. I mean, so there's all kinds of lines on the court. And then the gym surface is just a slicker surface. You play with a softer ball. There's a dedicated pickleball for indoors on gym surfaces like that. Oh, okay. It's a little softer. Anyway, I've only played on gym floor one time, and I said never again. Just didn't like it. So then I go up here and hear that we drove 2 hours, to play in this tournament, and we might get moved into a gym floor. I'm like, no. Yeah. we might just forfeit and go home at that point, grab some food and go home. But,
yeah, you really don't like gym floors.
I don't. And Andy knows that if he sees a tournament that's played like on indoor gym or like tile or whatever, he knows not to ask me to partner. So he just finds someone else to play those tournaments. But anyway, so really bummed about that. But fortunately, the weather kind of broke, and the rain clouds kind of broke apart, And so we were able to play outdoors on the dedicated courts. And so the format was there were 11 teams. And so it was 2 pools, 1 pool of 5 and 1 pool of 6. And we got in the pool of 5. And so basically you were playing 1 game to 15, win by 2 against every team in your pool. So since there were 5 teams in our pool, that means we played four games. And so the first one we got off to played one guy I had heard that he's like a teaching pro and that he had played at like 4.0 and 4.5 levels. So he was certainly sandbagging as well, playing in 3.5. But we played him and his partner, and they were really good players. But Andy and I played solid, and we won that one 15-8. So that put us at 1-0 in our pool. Then the next one, I would say the players were probably a little weaker, but they jumped out to a 6-0 start on Andy and I.
Ooh.
Yeah, but we I mean we knew from a skill perspective. I mean we knew they didn't have anything on us. I mean we knew that they couldn't really beat us. We were just making a few mistakes here and there, and so we stayed calm, we stayed happy, because Andy and I have learned playing together that like when one of us starts to get upset or angry at ourselves or even at the other, we know now we can really talk and calm each other down and say, look, we play our best when we're just having fun, and so neither one of us panicked when and we ended up from that point on we ended up winning 15-2. So the final score was 15-8, but from the time we were down 6-0, we beat them 15-2. Yeah, wow. Okay. Yeah, and took that one. And again, like I said, we never panicked. We knew we could do that. Then in the third one, it was interesting because the guys that we played in the third one were probably some of the better players in the pool. Yet we beat them 15-3. We were just on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were rolling there, and they were just great guys. They were just super nice and pleasant to play with. It's always fun when I mean, sometimes you face some jerks across the net, and that's it's never fun. But anyway, they were super nice. But we rolled through that, so that put us at 3-0 for the day. And then the final one in the pool, I'm trying to even remember. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Probably the weakest team in the pool, and we beat them 15-4.
Okay. All right.
So that put us at 4-0. And a lot of times what some tournaments do when there's 2 pools, what they do a lot of times is they take the top 2 finishers from each pool and put them in a little semifinal then final bracket. So you take the top team from one pool, plays the second team from the other pool, and then flip-flop it. But this one didn't do that. So basically what this one did is it took the top team from each pool and advanced those teams to the gold-silver match. And that was it. Okay. And then they took the second place team from each pool, and those 2 teams played one game to 15 for bronze. So one got bronze, one got nothing. So it just lessened the play. But after a long day in the sun, that was fine that we did it that way. So we advanced to the gold-silver match. And the team we played, we hadn't really even seen them all day. So we didn't really even know what to expect. But then they, for that, since it was a gold-silver match, they put a ref on the court, which that was a new experience for me. I'd never played with a ref on the court.
Oh, cool.
And and they're really just they're just really calling the score, making sure it's the correct server, and they're watching the kitchen line for foot faults. They're not really calling the lines. We still call our own lines.
Sure.
Now, if we saw a bad call, we could ask the ref, did you see it? And if he clearly saw it, he would overrule. But for the most part, he's again, kind of just navigating the match or the game and watching for foot faults on the kitchen line. So, but anyway, so it was kind of cool. And he did call kitchen line foot fault on my partner, Andy. and then he called one on the other team. So it all balanced out. But anyway, so yeah, the team we were playing, they were good. And we got down early, and I think we switched sides at 8 because you're playing to 15, so you switch sides at 8. So we switched at 8, and I want to say on the side switch at 8, I want to say we were down 8-4.
Okay.
So, it's a decent hole to be in
Yeah,
a
it
finals,
is.
when you're playing a good team in a finals.
Yeah.
But again, we stayed calm and just, kind of inched our way back, one point at a time. And we were able to get it close back to, tied up or close around, 8-8, 9-9, something like that. And at that point, got kind of lucky from the standpoint of I hit a real heavy drive and on my serves as well. I hit a heavy ball, so it's a fast one with a lot of top spin. And so what I did is that I hit a really deep, heavy, fast top spin serve to this guy. He was really deep in the court, and I saw he couldn't handle it at all. He missed the return big time. I'm like, oh, nope.
Yeah.
Note that. So every time I served to him from that point forward, I hit a real fast, heavy top spin serve deep to him, and yeah, we got several free points from that and then that was getting in his head on the return. So then he was messing up other parts, and so
Sure.
so we were able to take that final 15-11 and
Nice.
one gold in that one. So yeah, it was so that means we have to move up from now on per our Andy and my agreement.
No
We
more
have to.
sandbagging. I love it.
Yeah, we're moving up, and but yeah, it was really really fun. And I would say that Andy and I talked about it a lot on the way home. That I didn't feel ever through the day that I was just on fire. I mean, there were
Mhm.
points where I was on fire, but like overall for the day, I didn't feel like I was just amazing and playing great. And same for Andy. But what we realized is we just played super clean
Mm.
pickleball all
Yeah.
day long. I didn't miss a single serve all day long. So five games, I did not miss a single serve.
Wow.
Didn't hit one into the net or hit it long or anything. Didn't miss a serve. I think Andy may have only missed one serve. So
Wow.
just super, super clean there. I think we only duffed one return each. So I think in that final match, I did duff a return into the net. But that's the only one I can remember. And I think about the same for Andy. And yeah, we just played so clean pickleball and played consistent. And sure, we had some great shots and some winners and, things like that. But also, we just played so clean that a lot of times we could take advantage of the other team's mistakes, So just keep that ball in play, keep the ball in play, keep it clean, put pressure on them, let them make the mistake. And
Mhm.
yeah, it really worked for us. And we were proud of ourselves for playing
Dude,
that
that's
way.
awesome. That's cool. The days like that in any sport. I mean, you just flow. You just in that go mode, and you're just not making mistakes and feeling good. So you got in the zone, man. That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Very
It
cool.
was fun. It was fun. And so I wanted to come back to the name of the tournament. It was a Glass City
Oh yeah.
Invitational. Yeah. And so I just did a quick Google search. Toledo's known as the Glass City. I guess I even forget what time frame, what era of time, but I guess there were all kinds of glass factories that sprung up in Toledo for whatever reason. But because it was a Glass City Open, most tournaments in pickleball give away medals. So like a
Mhm.
gold medal, a silver medal, or a bronze medal.
Sure.
Well, this tournament, because of the Glass City, they didn't give away medals. We got this pretty cool Pilsner glass.
Oh, cool.
It's got the, I don't know if you call this etching or whatever it is, but
Yeah.
it says men's doubles 3.0, 50 plus first place, and it's got the little logo of the tournament. So yeah, since they're the Glass City, they took a little different
That's
spin
cool.
on it, and instead of giving the traditional medals, they gave away Pilsner glasses. So I actually, and I think bronze got a smallest glass. Then I think silver got a little bit bigger glass, and then gold we got the big
Cool,
Pilsner
man.
glass. So yeah, it was cool that they did that. I was glad to see them stepping out of the mold of traditional medals and doing something that was more personable or personal to their city.
Ah, that's really cool. Yeah, those are the
Yeah,
best kinds of tournaments to play in when you get something special like that. That's cool. I dig
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, okay, so let me ask you real quick before we start
Yeah.
talking about what's to come for next month.
Sure.
Do you remember, like, did you take mental note of what you guys did Saturday to get in the zone? I mean, was there anything special that just kind of stood out to you to get you in the zone so that you can duplicate that next time you play?
Not really. I mean, I really suffer from nerves. Like nerves really get me. So I mean, we got up at 5:30 a.m. Left the house pretty early in order to drive 2 hours to Toledo, and so I didn't have any. When I get nervous, I can't eat.
Ah,
So I didn't have much in the tank at all. So physically, I was probably in really bad shape, and
Sure.
going into the play, when it started around 10 a.m. and then especially as we get toward the end, I was really feeling like I just didn't have anything in the tank. I mean, I was
Sure.
drinking some energy drinks, and I was drinking my X Endurance Focus. I was drinking an electrolyte drink from X Endurance. I was drinking all that through play, and then I
Yeah.
was munching on a couple little keto crisps here and there,
Yeah.
but no, I didn't really have any food in the tank. So physically, didn't really, probably wasn't at my best physically, but I was able to still dig deep and and perform at the
Cool.
level I need to. But I don't know. I don't know. I think again, I think it's just some days you're just in a better zone than others, and you can't always pinpoint it. So that was
Yeah.
probably some of it. And then also, like I said, Andy and I, since we've been playing together for almost a full year now, I think about a year ago is when we met and started partnering together. Um, we just become better friends, and we know
Sure.
each other's games more, and we know each other's styles. And so we have made a real conscious effort to not get mad at ourselves and not get mad at each other and not get frustrated when and that was probably the key, is we just really
Ah,
stayed
yep.
even keeled. We didn't panic. When we got down 6-0 in that one match, we didn't panic. When we were down 8-4 in the finals, we didn't panic. We just kind of stayed calm and believed in ourselves and believed that, hey, these guys, they're good, but they don't have anything on us, and let's just play our
Yeah.
game. And I think that was the biggest thing we did, and that just allowed us to play so cleanly just because we kept our heads really clean.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
That's it right there. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Okay. All right. So on that note, let's talk about what's to come. June was a great month for you. Had a couple events, so it was awesome, and you ended on a high note. What is on tap for July?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any tournaments scheduled in July. So looking forward to August, I have two, potentially three, but one of them's on the same day, so I may have a schedule conflict. But August, I have three. I think I already know of two in September
Oh man.
that I'm planning. But no tournaments scheduled currently for July. Doesn't mean I won't maybe pick up a local one or something, if I can. But I do. I was supposed to. I'm playing in a 4-0 plus ladder league at the local courts in Middletown where I play. That
Okay.
league was actually supposed to start the second to last week of June, but had rainouts
Mm,
both those Monday nights. So we haven't even. It's a six session 6 week league. So that
mm.
hasn't started yet. So that will start now that we're in July on next Monday. That'll start. And so that'll be something that we can talk about when we do the July update, is
There we go.
how I'm doing in that ladder league. I don't quite understand how the organizers have seeded the league, because I'm sitting like way low
Oh,
right now. And
interesting.
like, yeah, I want to say there's 60 some. I think I'm sitting like at 30 right now to start the ladder.
Oh,
And I, I I know and have played with and against a lot of the people that are above me in the
sure.
ladder, and
That's all right.
I'm a top fiver or top tenner in this ladder for sure. So
Oh, okay.
I just got to prove myself on the court and work my way up the ladder over the next 6 weeks. So that'll be a good putting my feet to the fire publicly on this podcast to let everybody know that I started at,
That's
or
true.
not podcast, but the YouTube show, but letting everybody know I started out at 30, and then we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see where I finish.
That's awesome. All right. Well,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna hold you to
yeah.
it.
So
we,
so
we
so
check in.
yeah, for sure. So we've got that, and then I think we've talked in episode 1 how I on a periodic, fairly regular basis, I take lessons, which I call more drill sessions and practice
Oh, sure.
sessions with my coach Todd Jungling. And we haven't done that for about a month or so. So I do need to get a hold of Todd
Mm,
and get a couple of those sessions on the calendar. So since I don't have any tournaments scheduled in July, it's probably a good time to get with Todd and spend that money that I would have spent on tournament entry fees, spend that on paying him to
yeah.
beat me around the court and
Yeah.
just drill ball
Make
after ball after ball at me.
oh, that's great, man. That's great. Well, even if you don't have much coming up on the court as far as events goes, I know that we've got some big things planned for the show and the content that we're going to be bringing to people. In the first couple episodes, we focused on getting to know David and then talk a little bit about customization. But coming up in the next few episodes, we're going to dive a little deeper into customizing the paddles, and I think it's going to be some good stuff for everybody to learn on how David takes his game to the next level. So before we wrap up here, David, is there anything else that you want to add to the recap of June?
Nothing that I can think of. Probably the minute we hit stop on the recording, I'll think of something that else that I wanted to cover. But no,
Sure.
I think we covered those 3 events pretty well, and like I said, they were just super fun, and the results were good. So I'm grateful for the month of June, and the results and experience that I got from it.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Well, with that, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the DH Pickleball Show. As always, you can follow David on his journey at DH Pickleball on Instagram. That's where he posts primarily most of the things that are going on with him. And you can keep up to date and know about the tournament win from this past weekend before the show. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode.